Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Let's get this week going, huh? You know, I used to have a little more zest for this whole deal. I did too, you know, back in the day. I'm not going to say I sprung out of bed like a spring chicken all happy to go drive my truck, but I just felt it a little more, you know? And I was sitting there thinking about it. Having my morning nicotine, you know, my monster. And I was like, you know what a lot of it is? I mean, I still like driving the truck. I still like the adventure. I don't even mind sleeping in the truck and all that shit, right? It really, a lot of it boils down to like what we were talking last night on that live stream. It's the way we're treated and the respect, particularly by the companies. You know, everyone else can treat us like shit. The shippers, receivers, they're actually getting better. The four-wheelers, you know, all that bullshit, right? That's just part of the job. But being treated like shit by our own companies. Golly, golly, man. Nice easy delivery this morning. Easy to find. Like, no one's hardly here. No one's hardly nagging me. All quiet and peaceful. Imagine that shit. What a good way to start a Monday. Let's see what kind of crazy shit we get into when we get out of here. But, you know, I don't got nothing to complain about yet. But never underestimate the fact that I can come up with something to complain about. Oh, I found something. Imagine it. So this is one of those places, you know, safety vest, hard hat, blah, 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 all that crap. Because, you know, I don't know what's going to happen between this driver's door and the back of my trailer. Apparently, there's shit falling out of the sky around here or something. So you got to have all that shit. And you can't smoke. You know I already had a cigarette. And do you see a safety vest on me? No, right? Not doing it. Don't feel like it. But check out what we got going on here. See the old green light flashing back there? That's not a good idea to be unloading a truck on a green, man. Some guys will pull out on a red. You ever seen what happens when a forklift falls off the back of the trailer? People get hurt and killed pretty bad. And, you know, you're all worried about the other stuff, but you ain't worried about the real problem there, right? Because I'll tell you a quick story on that whole deal. I used to do this ice cream shuttle. Right, you gotta roll up my window here. This forklift guy, man, just unload my trailer. He's so freaking noisy. You can do that shit a little bit quieter, I tell you. But anyway, I used to do this ice cream shuttle, which really wasn't a bad gig. I actually thought about going back there. It's paying really good now, but that's a whole nother story. To where the ice cream was coming off the line, right, and it would go into this freezer, and then I would put it on my truck, and then I would drive it like, I don't know what it was, 5 miles, 10 miles or something out to this bigger freezer. And then I would unload it with the forklift into the freezer and then drive my truck back and then reload my truck with the forklift. And that's what I did all night, running it back and forth, right? And you had to be quick, right? Because you didn't want to shut the line down. It was pretty fast paced, but it was pretty fun. It kind of broke up the monotony because you got to drive the truck and the forklift and yada, 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 right? The only bad part was it was like 30 below zero in those freezers. Kind of a bitch, man. And then you're in your full weather gear, and then if it's summertime and you're going from the freezer out to the truck in full weather gear in the heat, and I kept getting sick. So that's to clarify why I don't work there anymore. But to get to this point of the story, right, when I would get out to the freezer to offload my truck, you had freezer employees out there that were breaking down the loads and shipping them out, you know, and loading outbound trucks with them. And one day I go back into the dock, and there's this truck, you know, pulls out. I'm walking around to the back of my truck to open up the doors to go into the dock, and the other truck pulls out, and I see one of the guys that I know that works at the freezer there for the same company I work for, you know. He comes jumping out of the back of the trailer, and I'm like, what the hell's going on, dude? And he's like, exactly, man. All right. So I walk over there and look. His forklift's in the trailer, man. The guy not only pulled off the dock, but you know those dock locks that hook up underneath the DOT bumper? He ripped the damn thing right off the wall, dude, and drug it right out. Like, think about that, man. You gotta be sitting there like, revving on the truck, like, you don't feel something might be a little bit wrong there? I don't know, maybe it was a piece of shit. And maybe, it just wasn't bolted to the wall very good, but he pulled out on a red. Well, dude got killed there, right? And the way they had their dock plates is there were those ones that would go and they would stand up, if that makes sense. And then there was like a gap underneath them. And the dock plate was up, and he got out there to offload his truck, and the power was out. So like a dumbass, he had went underneath it to try to like pry it down or bring it up with a chain or something he was doing. So the fucking dock plate fell on top of him and he died, man. And the way he died must have sucked because nobody else was around. They made a rule after that we couldn't, you know, load and unload by ourselves, but I'm unloaded now, so catch you in a minute. Dag nabbit, man, my luck might be turning around. My karma might be turning around for a minute, you know, because I got some bad karma because of some bad shit that I do sometimes. That struggle. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. Anyway, I'm at this other easy peasy pickup here up in Lima, Ohio. I like these out in the middle of nowhere type deals, right? And you know, you got to make the best out of every situation. Like I said, the day pay ain't the greatest deal, but in situations like this, I like it because they were like, I'm sorry, sir, but you weren't scheduled, and we're not even going to be able to start on you until after lunch, which is like an hour and a half or better from now, right? Before they can even start on me. And normally when I'm on mileage, I'm like, motherfucker, come on, I gotta keep these wheels turning. Right now, you know what I'm about to do, don't you? Oh yeah, it's midday nap time. So y'all remember when I said earlier that I should have went further on Saturday before I did my reset and everything because it's probably gonna screw some stuff up, right? I knew it, man, I knew it, right? I've been doing this shit for a minute. So I should have went at least an hour further or something like that and parked for my reset, but I didn't because I was being lazy, right? And laziness will get you every time, won't it? So it fucked up this whole run right here. So there's trucking for you, man. Don't stop short. Fucks everything up. Woo-wee! Right? You hear that excitement, right? Don't you? You do. You know you do. Another day, man. I'm telling you guys, man, if you follow my channel, man, listen up, motherfuckers. I'm using some willpower here. Right? I like this truck, but I'm not really liking this whole thing, dude. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm on my second motherfucking delivery already, dude. This day cab local work nonsense, man. I mean, I get it, like, I'm not really a day cab type guy, or I would probably have one of those jobs, right? I think I got enough experience to get one of them. But it'd be so much better, dude, if I just went up there and dropped that load this morning and, like, hooked onto something and I'm on the road right now, you know? Listen to some podcasts or something than in here blinking around with all this crap. Congested, ornery-ass truck drivers all in each other's way. This dude over here, he's got to run around and bang on his trailer with a hammer to get all the flour out of it. We'll go see what kind of other shit. Hopefully I'm not doing day cab like all fucking day today, man. Like, this is really getting on my damn nerves, man. But I have a job. I'm thankful to have a job. I did pull some bonehead shit, so I got kind of a sketchy looking job history over the last year. People don't seem to care that much, though, because I was talking to Walmart the other day, and they don't seem to freaking mind the whole fact that I got that PSP violations from that truck recovery, and I've had like 5-6 jobs in the last year and a half. Walmart still seemed like they were kind of interested in hiring me. So I'm waiting for the information packet back from them to see if they switched up that whole slip seating and all that. I don't know, guys. I might sell out. Yep. Stop number 4. 11 o'clock in the morning. Gotta love it. So here's what I don't understand. This company, right? We do all this dropping and picking and running all over, you know? How in the hell did they get these loads? Like, other than yesterday, I waited like 5 hours on that one. I don't know if I mentioned that, but yeah, that was like a 5-hour deal at that laundry soap place. That never happens around here. That is like, just never happened since I worked here. But the point is crazy, dude. Like, you're back into the dock, boom, bump the dock, set the brakes, the dock plate comes down, the forklift's in the trailer. Like, almost everywhere you go, even getting loaded and unloaded. And it's like, how do they get loads like that? Because I've worked for other companies where you're doing this shit, you know? You're doing like Pam or whatever that mixed mass colored truck is, you know. You're sitting there waiting, right? You're waiting to get a door and get unloaded or get loaded. Not me, man. Every time I come in there, it's like, okay, door such and such, boom, bam, boom, gone. I love reading the comments. I try to get back to them as soon as I can, by the way. I might have already said that earlier in this video, I don't know. But the shit that people bring up, you know, it's just so true. Like the front collision radar and the side radars and all that nonsense they put on these trucks, right? Man, they've been putting them front radars on there for a long time, and they used to be like really bad. But like I worked for companies, I don't even know how long ago, like maybe 10 years ago or something, they were putting them on, and then they would screw up. Like I had mine just lock the brakes up going down the road one time in Florida at like 70 miles an hour and just other shit like that, right? And then they kind of stopped. I worked for those same companies, right? And then they stopped ordering that shit on their trucks because they didn't work, and then it kind of made a comeback, so on and so on. But here's my point, and I'm not the only one that's thinking this or saying this shit. So if you stop and think about it, right? The lawmakers, you know, they want to implement that as a regulation that all trucks have the emergency braking system or whatever on there that we know does not work correctly. Because like if a car's turning into a parking lot and you're going, the fuckers will lock up. Sometimes if you're doing like one of those wide turns and there's signs in the middle, it'll read the sign and the brakes will lock up like halfway through the turn. I haven't had one in a while. Maybe they're a little better now, but I had issues with them. And in the winter, man, it made me nervous because I was afraid that the damn brake, you know. Where I come from, man, sometimes you're just driving on the ice, dude, and it's like, just keep this bitch straight, you know, don't hit the brakes, don't do nothing, and if that thing hit the brakes, you'd be screwed. But the lawmakers want to implement that shit as like a federal regulation to have it on all the trucks, right? Now stop thinking about what these asshole, like, you know, Hunter Biden type fucks, and, you know, probably even Trump a little bit and all that stuff, right? Whoop, don't say Trump. People get all sorts pissed off. Everybody loves Trump. Everybody love old Trumpy. I think the dude's fucking hilarious, but other than that, I don't give a fuck. I've never voted before in my entire life. I'm almost 50 years old. I don't really care. But I'm not going off on that. I get a bunch of people be like, oh, don't be fucking with Trump. God damn it. I'm going to find your house. I don't have a house. Here it is. It's a roaming bastard. All right, sidetracked again I am. So, they implement that shit as a regulation, right? And then what they do is they invest in the stocks and shit of those companies. I'm thinking what I'm thinking about here, right? So then now all the manufacturers have to put that shit on that truck. What happens to the dividends on their stocks, right? How the fuck do you think these cocksuckers get rich, man? I have most definitely turned into an angry, bitter old trucker. I get in here, I get a chance to actually go into IHOP, you know, and get some relatively decent food, you know. And I get in there and it's only me and one other dude in there, right? I'm like, wow, perfect. It's all peaceful and quiet and this and that and other thing. We sit up at the bar. The two waitresses come over there, they're hanging out. One of them was kind of a little smoker, if you know what I'm saying. And we're just having some really good conversation, the four of us. Here comes fucking Super Trucker, man. I ain't seen a damn Super Trucker around, and it's been quite a while. It used to be kind of a thing. And he's working for that company Cook or whatever, that Koch, something like that. And he just starts going, man. He's just, yeah, I just came back from Paris, California. Like, running California is a huge fucking thing. Like, whoop the shit, dude. And then he's just like, I get 60 cents a mile, loaded or empty, minimum of 2,500 miles a week. My truck's brand new. We got drop yards in Atlanta, we got drop yards in Tennessee, we got drop yards over here, we got this, we got 2,300 trucks. We haul only for the boat division, dedicated, blah, blah, blah. He's just going on and on. It's like, dude, first of all, you're a company driver, you don't have shit, you know. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, that's cool, I get it, dude, you like your job, you're happy, good. And at first I'm thinking, well, cool, here's a trucker that likes his job and he's making good money for himself and all that. And then it's like, none of us can talk, you know. None of us can have a conversation, because as soon as we start talking to the waitresses and shit again, he starts talking about birds. Did you know there's 3 birds in the world that can't fly because they don't have wings? And Well, you know what the furthest southern continent is in the country? New Zealand. You know about New Zealanders? New Zealand. Like, wow, really? And he just keeps fucking interrupting. But it was hilarious, man. There was this dude next to me that was actually older than me. Imagine that, right? He just kind of slowly looks over at the guy and he goes, why don't you just shut the fuck up? Oh shit, the waitresses were laughing. I was fucking laughing. Oh boy. First delivery of the day, right? Wonder how many we'll do today. Does that make you wonder? On my local daycare job. Anyway, so check this out. Don't you hate it when you get up in the morning, right? And you're all sleepy and everything, and you're fixing to head in the truck stop to take a shower, and you forget to latch your holster? Ain't that a bitch? This dude was in the Flying J this morning, and he went to swing his shower bag off his shoulder, and it hooked on his pistol, and it came out and fell down on the floor. Somebody forgot to latch the holster this morning, and you should see the look on everybody's face, man. Like it was the end of the fucking world or something. Dude, I'm a redneck, man. Like, when I was growing up, we dropped our guns all the time. Be drinking fucking beer and bullets, man. Whoops, I dropped my gun. My bad. But it'd be kind of interesting, you know, if you could see in society, right? Like, if everybody just had a mark on them that was packing, right? I wonder how many of us are packing. It'd be pretty interesting to see, wouldn't it? And that dude was strapped, man, because he pulled his shirt up to put it back in the holster, and he had 2 more clips on his belt. I'm like, damn, this boy's ready for some war, son. It'd be interesting to see, like, one of them little rats fucking, you know, you see up on the interweb come into the truck stop with their hood on. They're always holding their gat sideways, you know. Interesting to see one of them try to rob a fucking truck stop. You got so many truck drivers milling around. That dude would pull his gun out and be like, give me the money, and all of a sudden it'd sound like a fucking machine gun just went off. Everybody'd be like, da 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 da. That fucker would be dead. But on another note of my crazy thoughts, the title trucker, right? You ever think about that? I'm just curious about it. If I'm just a dick, that's why I like to make these videos and throw shit out there to see. It kind of gives me a way of gauging whether or not I'm just a complete asshole, or if other people think the way that I think, right? And usually it's about 50-50 on YouTube. Most people agree I'm an asshole. But the title trucker, right? I heard some dudes talking today and all this stuff, because I'm always hearing some people talking. So this is the way I look at it, right? I think that even as small and as silly as it may sound, I think you earn that title, trucker, right? There's truck driver, and then there's trucker, right? And I think that's an earned title. And I think it goes a little something like this. If you're driving a Class B straight truck, you ain't a trucker, dude. You're a straight truck driver. If you're driving a hot shot, you ain't a trucker. Well, my friends, it is finally Friday morning, early Friday morning, like 2 a.m. And I'm over here in Chicago, so we won't have no traffic this morning. That's a good deal, but still got to run up to northern Michigan, do my run around up there, and then I'll get back to my domicile for a short little break, because that's all they are, short little breaks. You know, I was thinking about something yesterday that I saw, so I got just like a little touch of advice, you know, because I'm an old bastard. For people that are new in the whole trucking game, don't panic, man. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to, like, when you get in a bad spot, to panic and fuck some shit up. So what happened is I got off of I-80 at the Burr Street exit 6, Gary, Indiana. And honestly, I don't ever really go in that area. I usually hit the truck stops before I get there or after I get out, but I needed a scale, right? So, long story short, you get off, you take it right off the highway, and immediately you got to take a right to go down the street to get into the truck stop. But it doesn't look like that. That doesn't even look like the road that would even go to the truck stop. It looks like you'd go up to the light, take a right, because all the way that all the trucks are parked. If you've ever been there, you know exactly what I'm saying. As soon as you get up to that light, it's all like no trucker out signs. And then you're fucked, because it's no trucks always. Intersection's too busy to do a U right there. So I got up there, a crate carrier was in front of me, and we just made the turn, right? The right-hand turn. There's a little Thai food place right there, restaurant. They got a bunch of them big cement barriers and shit out there because that's where all the trucks been turning around because everybody fucks up. They need to have a bigger sign there is what they need. But he screwed up because he goes and he turns left into this Thai food restaurant. And I'm looking at him going, what are you going to do, dude? You're going to fucking... There's obviously not enough room to whip you in there. But you're going to go in and blindside back out onto the road? I mean, if you are going to use that parking lot, then at least back into it from the road so that your driver's side backing in and you can just pull right out, right? Not a terrible way to do it. I might have done that myself if he wasn't already going into that parking lot. I might have backed into it and pulled out. Well, here's the thing, man. I just said, fuck it, and went down the no truck route. Because what else you gonna do? And I went down about a block or two. There was an intersection down in old Ghetto Gary, boy. It's pretty rough down there, let me tell you. I'm sure they ain't too worried about trucks being on no truck route because they probably just had about fucking 100 gunfights last night. That shit's sketchy down there. So, I just put on my flashers, whipped to you. There was hardly any traffic, no big deal. It wasn't unsafe. It was a 4-way stop, so it's not like anyone's gonna come blasting through there and hit me or nothing. And when I come back, Crate was all fucked up in that parking lot, man. He bent his fairing, like, real bad on the back of the tractor. It was broke off at the bottom, like, flapping in the breeze and shit. But then he was stuck because he jackknicked it so far, it was raising the drive off the ground, and it was just spinning on the gravel. So here's my point, right? If you would just calm down for a minute, and trust me, I've been there, bro. Like, when my first 2 weeks driving truck, I fucked some shit up, son. Because I was panicking. You know, I was in Chicago panicking, running everything down and bending my fairings and everything. So you just calm down for a second, right? You can get out of that situation without getting in trouble. Don't do that, you know? Like, don't go in there. But now, see what happens is, he could have just went down there like me, whipped to you, went back. His company would have never even known. No one got caught. It was all good. Well, he has to report all that now because he's going to need a record to get out of there. And then the fairing's bent on the truck. So you get what I'm saying? Just simmer it down, man. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I still get in situations sometimes where, like, you've probably watched a couple of my videos where I got on some bad roads out in Virginia, you know, and I'm like, driving down the road going, man, come on, please don't come up to a corner that I can't make or a bridge or whatever. And I get anxiety, dude. Even though I've been out here, I got an ass ton of miles under me. I used to run New York City and shit, man. I backed down one-way streets and shit in New York City to make my deliveries, but I still get a little bit paranoid sometimes. So there's my advice from the old trucker trash. Well, that delivery was interesting. I'll tell you that at the least, right? Got my trucker headset on, right? You guys didn't think I had one, did you? This is a cheap ass one right here. And you know how cheap I am. I've had this, man, I probably had this sucker for like 8 years and I paid like $40 for it. And you can still hear everyone just fine on it. I don't need one of them expensive ones. Because I'm a cheap fucker. But anyway, check this out. I need to get a TWIC card. Man, I even got a video on TWIC cards and I still ain't went and got a TWIC card. Because that place I picked up at back there, which I probably better not say what it was, but they required a TWIC card or you got to get an escort, right? So it turned into quite a little bit of a hassle there. Having an escort me in and escort me back out, and their security's so weird, man. Like, they made me pull down my GoPros off the windshield and shit. But what about the truck camera? You know, that's fucking recording shit. I tell you. Then they acted like I was a big burden. I'd rather go fuck home, but my company made me go there. And we get up there, and you know how when they drop the trailers like too close together, how you can't get in there to crank the dollies up? The dude's like, well, I'll go get him to move it. I'm thinking, fuck that, dude. It's Friday night today, man. I got shit to do. I got people to go see, bro. I just drug that fucker right out of there, and he came back out. And he wasn't so happy about it. Apparently, that's not the safety procedure, but too bad. It's already done now. Let's go. Come on. But I tell you, man, I think this world, the society is losing its freaking mind, man. And I kind of know why, but you know when like they do one lane road and you gotta stop, let the traffic come the other way, and then you got the flagger dude out there. People just ain't even fucking sitting there no more. They're just like, oh fuck this guy, and they just drive right around and go. Like, what is wrong with people, man? Well, my friends, that is it. We are done with the whole trucking gig for the week. Not for very long though, right? Back to my fucking storage unit, man. Now, that's everything I fucking own right there. Less is more, man. You gotta love divorce. Yeah.
Vibe blowing at the J, got the loud jumping at the pay. Everything I'm on slack. Everything I do is